Hello and welcome to this Blender LowPoly tutorial. This is actually part of a longer series, so if you haven't watched the previous episodes, you may want to have a look at those first. Let's continue where we left off. So, chainmail it was. And the coat. So now I just need to start to select everything that I want to be part of the upper coat part. Let's see, like this. Okay, and then I'm going to be creating the coat that hangs down a little bit and tucks in around the waistline. So let's see if I do, let's try this. I press E to extrude, but then I don't want to scale it like this. I press escape. But I still have, if I move here, you can see that I've got a bunch of extra faces now. Control Z. And then I do S for scale. Like this maybe. And now I've basically started to add what's going to be the clothing layer. So I'm not going to be doing separate clothing for this character. It doesn't need to change clothes at any time. So I'm just going to integrate it into the same mesh. And then I'm going to try to keep it as... I'll have to start moving some of these around. And I want to be particularly careful around here where I've got sharp and deep edges. So let's select these. Move them out and up a bit. Select vertex instead. Press G to move the vertex. And then here for the arm, I need to be equally careful here. G to move it. Again, this is the first point where the mesh starts to get a little bit, that you could start breaking it, so you have to be really careful here. That you select the correct vertex, and for this one I picked the wrong one, so Control Z a few times. Right click shift to select multiple, and I need that vertex. Move it out a bit. This needs to move down and out. So I need to really get these separated a bit. This one I had moved before without, that was part of the elbow definition. So to move that in the view direction, I press G as well for some quick moving, but it moves it along the axis that you're currently viewing them. So if you want to force it along an axis, you can always use these, but sometimes I like to freehand a little bit based on the view, like this. So that's the chainmail along the sleeve here. And then we're going to be painting this using just colors from a diffuse map. So, and then here we need to bring it out a bit. And then now we need to make the waists, because they did have a belt here somewhere, didn't they? Yeah, they have belts around their waists. So, and I think I added that for my character had a belt too. Yeah, simple, just color line. So let's do the same here. We do select the edge, click on an edge, Control R, click, drag down. I can scale this one a little bit. That's it, and then I'll just color these. I'll press Shift to select multiple, and Alt to select a ring select, and then I'll move these up a bit. Okay. And then we can have it hanging down a little bit further as well. I think what I'll try to do here, even I'll Control save it. Actually, I'll save a new one. Three for side view on the keypad. R to rotate it a bit, and then I'm going to be E to extrude. I'm going to try this, and S to scale it. Should I try that? And then do the same here. Let's move these up first to make it a little bit flatter. Let's try to see what happens if we extrude these. E to extrude. S to scale a bit. G to move it. G to move that one. Okay, let's see what this does. E to extrude. Go into front view. R to rotate. G to grab it. S to scale it. G to move it a little bit again. G. I keep pressing G to just be able to adjust it. Okay, let's link these together. I'll delete these two faces here. So right click on that face, delete face, delete face, and then I'll snap these vertices together. Right click, G, snap with the control key pressed. Right click on that one, G to grab, control key, snap to vertex. That looks a bit better, I guess. Let's do it like that. And then A twice to deselect, and then select everything space, and then type remove doubles. So we don't have any split there still. And then let's make this a little bit more narrow so the leg can move out. So when you deform this part of the body, when the leg swings out, maybe hopefully it should look all right there. Let's bring this out as well. Okay, that'll do. Should make him be able to move a little bit easier, hopefully. So we've got the chainmail here now, with the short sleeves and then hanging down a little bit in front here. Let's just pretend that he's got full pants on rather than half naked like the hardcore Viking has got no pants for some reason, but this guy will have. Okay, so maybe we should make some definitions for the boots just here as well. We'll try that. I'll press save as, and let's make a new copy again. I'd like to keep just loads of different versions of the file, because I've noticed in the past that I keep breaking things, and then it's always nice to be able to roll back in a few versions. So I'll select this one, Control R, and then let's make the boot to maybe around there. And then for these boots, let's make them, maybe I'll do this, Control R again, and then S to scale, and move down a little bit. And then Alt Shift ring select scale. So for my soldier, I had actually boots that go down a bit, but for this guy, I think I'm just going to keep them like that, snug to the legs rather than open like this one. Let's add a little bit of definitions to the glove here as well. And this we can do by selecting the edge there, Control R, scale it down a little bit, And for the glove, let's do what we did on the Viking. Add a slight extra definition line here for E to extrude, S to scale. And I like to select the inner ring here. So I click on Alt Shift, ring select, scale. And let's move it out. Alt Shift, ring select, scale. And then Alt Shift, ring select, scale. So now we've added a little bit of a glove line there. Actually, I'll make this Alt Shift, scale. Alt Shift, scale. That's better. So it's not so sharp. Control S to save. Okay, so we've got the definitions for the glove now. We've got the ring mail, the belt, the knees, shoes. And I think time has come. Let's do the slight bend to the knee that we need as well for the armature rigging. And I box select. I have to make sure I see the back faces. Box select with B. G to grab. Let's just move them out a little bit. And then I also see that the body is centered over the head. Let's center it over the center line of the body. So A to deselect everything, A to select everything again. And it's important that I'm in vertex mode or in object edit mode, so I don't move the actual mesh. I want to be moving all the vertices because I still want the center of the character to be in this line here. Control S to save. So do we need anything else for his body? I don't think I'll be putting a cape on him. I'll keep a bit of a simpler look. Maybe for a future modification I could do something like that. Should we do? I think I might want to keep this look that he's got two layers. So the chainmail maybe only goes to here. And then we do a collar here. And we can do that by adding one more line here. Control R. There. And then scale this one a little bit. So now we'll make the chainmail end here. And then we have just some clothing hanging down here instead. Let's bring this out a little bit. Oh yeah, we need to fix around his neck here as well. These are still overlapping here, so let's see, we bring these three forward a bit. So here's the opening in his clothing for his neck. Let's make the neck a little bit rounder. I only made it square the neck before, so I could make it, it's easier to make the body a little bit then. Maybe bring these down a little bit. A bit tricky here when you can't really see properly, but yeah, to just keep rotating the view like this so you sort of get in a 3D, because it's easy if you just stare at this, it's difficult to know what vertex does also, but as soon as you move it a little bit, hold the center key of the mouse to rotate, then you can start seeing where the vertices are. Let's save this one with the up. Oh, here we go, there's a bit odd. Maybe like that. Let's bring this chest out slightly more. I'll do Control S. The thing is, you can sit and fiddle for ages and ages. Sometimes you just have to be satisfied, but I think that's quite good. Yeah, let's color this guy in, I think, now. Thanks a lot for watching. I hope you liked this video, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and also consider subscribing to my channel for future videos that I make. You can click to your right to watch the next episode in this series, or you can click on the left to watch the previous video.